I'm Helene Oberman, Managing Director of Interior Design Magazine, and I'd like to welcome you to Product Live. This is our series that delves into the products and trends grabbing the industry and in real time, looking at the minds behind the design. Today, we're looking to take a trip from New York City to Italy and back again stateside. And guess what? You don't have to leave the comfort of your very own home office. As I like to tell my manufacturer friends, if you can't bring the designer to the factory, well, why don't you bring the factory to them? And we're here to do just that. Come along for the ride with our partners from Stone Source, a 30-plus-year-old design-driven company that provides natural stone, tile, and slabs to the A&D community, and come along and share the journey for their new collection, Equus, and how it came to life. Our tour guides for today, Luca Migliorini from Terra Tinta Group in Silano, and Ron Silano, Vice President of All Product Design. Benvenuti. Welcome, you guys. So nice to see you both.
Thank you, thank you.
So we begin our journey in Fiorano Modenese, home of Ferrari, Luciano Pavarotti, and the Terra Tinta Group. So Luca, can you tell us a little bit about your company?
Well, first of all, thanks for the introduction. We are a company based here in the heart of the ceramic tile district. When I was 26 years old, on 2008, I founded the company. At the end, a few months ago, let's say more than 1 year ago, we started up with a new brand called Sartoria, which has been focused more towards mid-high interior design and architecture. And that's where also we met with Stone Source. Today, we work in more than 50 countries all over the world, but we are pretty new also in the US market.
So Ron, I'm curious, so this new collection, Equus, was this the first time that you guys had partnered with Terra Tinta Group on a collection?
Yes, it's actually the first time we've done business stateside. Their concentration had really been Northern Europe with most of their products. And the last, maybe 3 or 4 years, they've come more to the US. And listen, this was a challenging thing to do, and we needed the right people. And Luca loved this collection as much as I did, like right off the bat. There wasn't even a question. And so it was, that part was easy. Mm-hmm. Everything else after, maybe not so much.
Well, but proof in point, and, obviously the audience will get to see the collection itself. You can see that challenges or not, it ended up being really strong collaboration between the two, and it really shows in the ultimate product. But this new collection, Equus, it was designed by tile extraordinaire Catherine Braconnier. And had she really worked with either of you? Because I know she has a very strong background in tile. Had she worked with you on a collection previously?
We'd been working with Kat probably 10 years. And she designed several stone mosaics for us that were, very, very successful. So over the years, getting to know her and just kind of her passion, we would tease every once in a while, why don't you make something in ceramic? Well, let's think about what else we could do. And so really in the end, we were excited when she had this idea, and the collaboration continues.
And so Equus, Ron, is part of the Stone Source Originals, which I know is very near and dear to the company. Can you really tell us more about this product program?
Sure. Stone Source Originals probably came about with that specific title, probably about 4 years ago. And a team I'm leading, and whether it's an outside designer or in-house team, where we're coming up with things that we see trends in the market, being architecturally driven, having products that are yours exclusively is tougher to do these days. And so the originals just made a lot more sense. So this will be our 4th originals collection, Equus. We have 3 other ones. Actually, the very first one we did, we won an award. So we were pretty excited about that. And I'm hopeful that Equus not only wins an award, but we sell an awful lot of it.
Of course. Well, hence the name Equus. the inspiration for the collection was really drawn from Kat's love of horses. And you can see this direct sort of relationship to this equine lifestyle really into the patterns of the tile designs, correct?
Yes, absolutely. She is an equestrian. She's an equestrian jumper. She's an avid sports person, bicyclist. So she's a very, very active individual. But yeah, this is obviously really, really personal for her. And even the imagery that you'll eventually see, or even when she presented to us the concept initially, all the imagery was just fantastic. And it was really horses and stables, but just these still shots that were like, I get the connection. And then to have a piece of the product called hoof and something called field, and then pavé is the flooring component. So it was well connected and well thought out upfront from her to us. So yeah, I think she's fantastic.
I mean, it seems really fortuitous, like given this time period where, you know, we are finding ourselves spending so much time indoors, to have this sort of direct connection to the natural world that you can really draw from the Equus collection.
Yeah, and it certainly seems like that's a trend at the moment. I mean, here in New York City, I haven't been in the city in quite some time, but even with the restaurants building the sidewalk sitting areas, so clearly the outdoors has become a lot more important to everybody. I know even for myself, spending more time at home, but in the backyard, in the parks. So nature is really, really important, and Equus is a clear connection. Kat spent 3 months almost exclusively when she was training and raising this particular horse. And so she lived really, she was in a barn every day, she was in a stable every day, she was in a field. So I think everybody wants a connection to nature.
But like really shifting to the production process, like you first took these initial drawings that Kat did, which were really obviously inspired by her equestrian lifestyle, and you fashioned a mold from these in order to create the tiles themselves, correct?
Yes. Yes, I mean, every nice project starts from a good idea and then gets to drawings, but then to come to real, you need also some physical tools, like we say the custom molds we created, and it's been quite tough, because even if it's a single line, it's like 3 different families of product at the end in terms of technology also used, and the way of pressing the product. So basically the material looks easy to say when we say the clay is pressed into the mold to get the finished product, but then in between and afterwards there are a lot of complications. So this was a very ambitious project since the beginning. I mean, I was really happy to see the first drawings, and I knew in terms of technologies to be used, we could have challenges. But I mean, I'm fan of it. I mean, today we look for nice original stories to tell behind the product, and sometimes to be original means also to have difficult products to produce, and also the mix between what we try always to do, to mix traditional ways of producing traditional techniques together with more innovative ones is also what is Equus about. I mean, it's been a nice journey. I always say from the idea to the finished product is really a nice journey.
Well, no, it's interesting. Obviously, you were up for the challenge, though, to create this collection. And I mean, was it really, because you speak towards the fact that, like, was there difficulty sort of capturing something like the tile field, which has this very specific sort of pattern in it? Like, did you have to utilize any new technologies or techniques in order to capture that?
I mean, of course, the field and hoof, where they have this kind of structure, especially the slope inside the product, makes made sometimes complicated to have the same weight from the press on the product. So to keep sometimes the edges straight, it was quite challenging. And that's why sometimes we look at the product on top of it, but we had to work also on the back side.
Well, Luca or Ron, how long did the actual process take really from those initial drawings that came from Catherine to really finalizing the actual tile?
I remember in the first meeting, yeah, we had here in Italy, I think, 13, 14 months at the end from the first view of the drawings until the first big production, let's say.
So I know we kind of touched on it already, but can we just go over how many tile patterns there are, and then what body types are used for them?
In terms of technology, we talk about the support is 100% porcelain. So that was not clear at first stage because we could go in different directions, but we decided for porcelain, giving much importance to the color we wanted to achieve. I mean, the right green, the right blue, and also especially in the pavé. In the pavé line, we have for every one of the 3 different items, the 3 different colors, 4 shades. And to get every shade took many small runs in production to achieve the exact color that we wanted.
Well, I mean, you can definitely, well, first of all, that blue and the green are super sophisticated and really beautiful, but you guys are able to like get that, so you can, it's beautiful. And you can also see that there's really this direct link between obviously what Kat's seeing every day when she's at the stables and when she's riding her horses in terms of the color palette, like it's very much tied to the horse farm.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, ultimately, if you think about the blue and the green, it's obviously the sky and the grass and the fields. But I think the concentration of trying to get those 2 really correct, and the right blue and the right green, also, I think we wound up with, if handsome is a good word to say for color, in a sense, I think the blue and the green are just, really fantastic. And I don't think we've seen those colors really in the market either in our industry. So even more exciting on top of that.
Well, I wanted to actually go back to what Luca was just saying about the glazes, because I know those are really incredibly important. One, for capturing the color, but also, the fact that you had these combinations of matte versus glossy, and when do you use them, or use them together? Because I know Huff uses both.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, in the hoof, on the sculpt, what we call let's say the decor for the wall use, we had this fantastic combination between the matte and the gloss effect, which is a glass-based glaze on this side of the tile, inside this imprint, which has been challenging, and that was also one of the reasons, because to make all matte on all glossy would have been easier.
Well, I certainly find with glazes, but even with the shapes and the colors, like there's both a really direct link to nature with the inspiration and the coloring and, some of the patterning, but also like when you look at them and the fact it almost looks like you can make infinite sort of patterns on your walls and your floor with it, depending on how you combine them. Because I know there's also some sort of flat, foundational tiles to go along with them, but it's also quite graphic and really super modern in design as well, depending on the patterns that you create.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because I think that's also, if you think about the story of stables and barns, it's not exactly the most modern thing you would imagine. But I do think it's just a modern interpretation, right? In the end, the colors, there's tons of energy, I think, in the colors. There's energy in the flow of the material when you see it installed. The movement, the shapes, the 3-dimensional pieces that happen. Again, I'm thrilled. So a year's worth of work, and to be really happy in the end, it's great.
And then just to wrap this up, so Ron, how do you ultimately see the collection being used?
The best question of the day, perhaps. Everywhere. Where wouldn't you use it? And the upside, so obviously bathrooms and kitchen backsplashes, the material could be used on the floor. But speaking about, you know, bringing outdoors in and that sort of thing, because it is porcelain, you can put this, you know, outside applications are certainly possible for the material. So commercial, hospitality, hopefully the restaurant industry.
Well, I definitely feel like there'll be a lot of wide appeal for the collection, and congratulations. It's really beautiful. And I really thank you both for your insight into this new collection and really sharing the journey from, you know, how it went from inspiration with Kat's love of horses, you know, obviously to the final product. And certainly to our audience out there, thank you so much for coming along for the ride around the world from New York to Italy and back again. And please check out the Stone Source website to learn more about the Equus collection.